What is going on, chat man? We are back, and today we are reacting to evidence that Bruce Lee was superhuman. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know too much about Bruce Lee, but I know he has a hard, very crazy impact. So, with that being said, I'm really excited to react to this video. And, he has nunchucks right here, so he might be really good at using nunchucks, which that's kind of cool if you ask me. But, with that being said, let's get straight into the video. And if you guys are new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Yes, sir.
In the world of martial arts, there are very few people who can rival the legacy of Bruce Lee, who became more than a martial artist, breaking the boundary of normalcy and engraving his name as a pop culture icon still remembered, even today. Though Bruce Lee died 50 years ago, it is still very hard to find someone as impressive as him, and many have tried, but this legend set the bar so high that it is hard, almost impossible, to replicate his accomplishments, even for highly trained professionals. It was like he was not even from this planet. Come with us as we look at 10 times Bruce Lee proved that he was superhuman.
Based off the first 40 seconds, I'm already kind of impressed. Okay.
Number 10. He broke a 45-kilogram sandbag with a kick.
Whoa!
Take a ride with us to Crazy Town as we kick off this list with one of the craziest things Bruce Lee did in his lifetime. And that is saying a lot, because this guy did many crazy things, wowing everyone and silencing his doubters. One of such incredible accomplishments was the time he broke a sandbag.
Are those clips from movies? I'm genuinely curious. Can you guys let me know down below?
Which weighed 45 kilograms with a kick. Although Bruce Lee was majorly known for being able to decimate his opponents with his fists, this superhuman had trained every single part of his body to be a weapon, including his legs, which could cause as much damage or even more than his fists. The story goes that he kicked the sandbag with a special kick called the super side kick. The effect of the kick hit the sandbag so hard that it broke. And in case you doubt it, this is an actual record verified by the Guinness Book of World Records. Now imagine what a kick like that would do to a human body, which should make you wonder why anyone in their right mind would want—
That would absolutely break all types of bones in your body. This guy's deadly.
to pick a fight with this guy. I mean, look at him. He is literally the last person you would want to pick a fight with. At the time, though, a lot of people did not seem to agree. They didn't believe all the hype, claiming he was just an on-screen fighter who couldn't fight in real life. Many challenged him, and one by one, every single one of them realized that this guy is not somebody you would want to mess with. Which brings us to the next one. Number 9. He defeated real-life martial artist bosses in record time. Every superhero needs a supervillain, and of course Bruce Lee was not without his enemies. Even as a kid, he was always getting into trouble, skipping school, and getting into street fights. There is a widely circulated story of him putting himself on the wrong side of the triad, considered to be one of the most dangerous cult groups in China. Because his parents realized he was a troubled teenager, they encouraged him to learn martial arts, to at least help him attain discipline. In addition to this, he also became interested in learning because he wanted to be able to defend himself. However, young Lee kept getting in fights after fights, street fights after street fights, and eventually, during one of his street fights, he beat up the son of a triad boss. Scared that the gang might put out a contract.
Like, is that really bad, him beating a triad boss? Like, son? Is that really bad? Let me know down below.
On his life, his parents move him to the United States to further his studies. He enrolled in the University of Washington, where he realized that he could make money teaching people martial art, which inspired him to open his first martial arts school, training people out of his home. After gaining much popularity due to his superior martial arts skills and through the astounding success of his movies, naysayers began to arise.
Look at his lats. His lats are so big. This guy is buff.
Many of them challenging him to a fight, which he declined on several occasions. One of such occasions was the fight between him and Vic Moore, an American karate champion. This controversial duel between two masters is still being debated till today, with many on both sides of the argument holding on to their own theory.
Is he doing push-ups with 2 fingers? Did I just see that? And with 1 hand? I've never seen that before. Okay.
Of who won the fight. The fight issued a simple objective: Bruce Lee was going to throw punches at Vic Moore, whose only task was to block the punches. The footage clearly shows Bruce throwing punches at lightning speed, such that the punches had hit Vic Moore before he could even react. Till today, the controversy surrounding this fight is still a subject of argument, since Vic Moore claimed that he actually blocked some of the punches and that he was even able to hit Lee. 56 years later, the arguments
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think he blocked that. He looked too fast for him.
still continue. Vic Moore, however, also went on to become one of the greatest karate masters to ever walk this earth, setting his own records, winning many fights, and etching his name in the Book of Legends. Number 8. He once kicked a 135-kilogram punching bag into the ceiling.
What?
This is one of the most contested records held by Bruce Lee, and it is still sparking debates till today, with many...
Chat, how is that physically possible? How can a human being, like, possibly do that? And the crazy thing is about Bruce Lee, he doesn't, like, he looks absolutely ripped and jacked, right? But he doesn't look as big as a person that goes to the gym. So it's crazy to me. What's his workout routine?
claiming that it probably didn't happen because it was simply too impossible. But we must remember who we are talking about here. Bruce Lee was not just any other random guy. He was a master of his art, proving it every single time. The story goes that he kicked the punching bag, which weighed 135 kilograms, up to 5 meters in the air. That is as high as a regular bungalow.
Wow.
Physicists have argued for decades about how Bruce Lee, who had a body size that could be considered average by Asian standards and small by Western standards, was able to achieve this. They claimed that the force of his kick could not have possibly thrown such a heavy weight so high. However, James Coburn, a famous American actor who was also a student of Bruce Lee when he was alive, attested to his incredible power and strength, describing him as the fastest man you have ever seen. James Coburn claimed to have seen him kicking.
I kind of believe that, like, yo, he looks deadly so far.
His supersized sandbag so hard that it slapped against the ceiling.
Oh!
The debate still continues and will probably still continue for more decades to come, because most of Bruce Lee's accomplishments were not recorded on video, and so they could only be verified by eyewitness accounts. Regardless of this, his legacy lives on as one of the most powerful martial artists in history, a superhero of his own time. Number 7. He was a master of nunchaku. The iconic weapon of choice of the legend Bruce Lee, the nunchaku or nunchucks, is a martial art weapon of Japanese origin. This simple weapon consists of 2 sticks.
I've always wanted to be good at using nunchucks. Like, I watched Ninja Turtles as a kid, and I always thought it was so cool. But, sheesh.
Usually made of wood, but which can also be made of metal or plastic, connected by a metal chain or rope. In the hands of this beast of a man, the nunchucks was a very deadly weapon. However, did you know that Bruce Lee did not like nunchucks at first? As a matter of fact, he hated them and did not want to incorporate them into his fights. Nunchucks have a very rich history in the Japanese martial art that date back as far as 400 years. They were originally designed to be used as training weapons in order to help quick hand movements and improve posture. But even though the nunchucks looked like a pretty awesome weapon, it wasn't really the usual weapon of choice for a kung fu superstar at the time. Most martial art heroes such as Jimmy Wang Yu, To Lung, and Chung Pei Pei used the Chinese sword, a more efficient weapon, so the nunchucks
Oh, those swords are so nice. Oh my gosh.
did not really appeal to Lee. According to Dan Inosanto, a famous martial artist who regularly trained with Bruce Lee when he was alive, he actually hated nunchucks and couldn't see how they would be of any practical use during a fight. As a matter of fact, Bruce hated them so much that he called them worthless piece of junk.
Oh.
However, Dan Inosanto said he was able to convince Lee to try them out, and after training him for 3 months, he said Bruce Lee was already swinging it like he's been doing it for a lifetime.
Wow.
Bruce is said to have been able to produce a tremendous 1,600 pounds of force with the nunchucks, making them his on-screen weapon of choice. Today, the nunchucks is an iconic feature of the Bruce Lee legacy, and his influence has made the weapon very popular among martial artists. But we all know that no matter how skilled anyone can get with the nunchucks, nobody can do it better than the master himself. Number 6. Yoichi Nakachi's defeat. During an interview with
Before we get into that, can you guys tell me down below who he is?
Black Belt magazine in 1994, Jesse Glover, an American martial artist, who is widely considered to be Bruce Lee's first student, told a very interesting story about Bruce Lee. He recalled one of the few times Bruce Lee was involved in a fight off-screen, defeating a karate master, Yoichi Nakachi.
Oh,
This was way before the Dragon became well-known. In his account, Glover told Black Belt magazine that the rivalry between Lee and Yoichi Nakachi started during one of Lee's demonstrations at the Edison Technical School in Seattle. It is said that Bruce Lee had made a statement, claiming that the soft style of Kung Fu was more effective than the hard style, a statement that apparently did not sit well with the karate master, who began to look for an opportunity to fight Lee in order to prove him wrong. However, not wanting to grant a fight with every Tom, Dick, and Harry who won to fight him, Bruce Lee was reluctant to honor the fight, even though Yoichi kept pressuring him to fight.
I have a genuine question. Do you guys think that Bruce Lee is capable of beating UFC stars, MMA stars, or now, the people now? Do you think he's easily beating them? I'm curious. Let me know down below.
Tired of being constantly called out, he sought the opinion of his students, asking them if he should fight the Karate Man. Many of them, including Jesse Glover, advised him not to fight the man, who was only looking for an opportunity to prove Bruce Lee's fighting style and philosophy wrong. But one day, Jesse said, Lee pulled him aside after class and told him that he had decided to fight the Karate Man.
Oh,
Bruce had planned to fight him at the top floor of the school, but in order to sensationalize the fight even more, Jesse advised that the fight take place at the YMCA downtown, and Bruce obliged. According to Jesse Glover, only 7 people were present at the fight, including Bruce himself, Yoichi Nakachi, the Karate Man, Ed Hart, Howard Hall, an exchange student from Japan who went by the name Masafusa Kimura, another exchange student whose name he couldn't remember, and Jesse himself, who was the referee. The rules of the fight were simple. They would go for 3 rounds, each round lasting for 2 minutes, and the first person to get knocked out loses the match. The legendary fight started, and Yoichi threw the first punch, which Bruce dodged easily, returning the attack with several powerful straight punches, which sent the Karate Man into the wall. He tried to grab hold of Bruce, but the Dragon was too fast, hitting him with a double punch on the head and the chest, and finishing him off with a kick that made Jesse stop the match.
This seems like it's like a cartoon how fast he moves, how he's explaining it. That's crazy. Bruce Lee is nice.
Yoichi Nakachi laid unconscious for a very long time before regaining consciousness, initially sparking fears that he might actually be dead. Upon careful examination, Jesse said the left side of his face looked like it had been hit by a baseball bat, and he had a cracked skull. The most amazing part of this story is
he gave a guy a cracked skull, and he's a teacher himself. I would never fight this guy in a fight. He used his bare hands, and he did that. Never.
The fact that the entire fight took only about 11 seconds. Obviously, that was not even a contest. After the fight, Jesse said that Yoichi tried to come close to Bruce Lee, who acted very casually about his victory, instructing everyone present to keep the story to themselves. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. Push-ups are hard enough when done the usual way, and most of us can only manage to do 10 before giving up. But when Bruce Lee does it, he takes it to another crazy level. This superhuman still holds an undefeated record for doing 200 two-finger push-ups.
How is this physically possible? How can you how can you even do this? I'm lost for words.
Do you know how insane that sounds?
Yes.
He is also known to have been able to do 1,500 two-hand push-ups at a stretch and 400 push-ups on one hand. How many push-ups can you do at a stretch? Let us know in the comments. Number 5. Same punching power as Muhammad Ali. The Dragon Bruce Lee was well known for his incredibly powerful punch, including the world.
I don't know how hard Muhammad Ali punches, but Muhammad Ali's a boxer, so for Bruce Lee to be able to do that, That's absurd. That's kind of crazy. Wow.
World-famous 1-inch punch, which could hit an opponent at an impressive speed of 118 miles per hour. It is said that
What?
Bruce Lee could punch with a staggering force of 350 pounds, which is the same amount of punching power exhibited by the boxing legend, Muhammad Ali. What makes this fact even more impressive is that Bruce and Ali have two different body types. While Bruce Lee weighed only 130 pounds, with a frail
There's no way he only weighed 130 pounds. What?
looking body, Ali weighed a staggering 260 pounds, which means that naturally,
Oh.
Ali's punch should carry more force than Bruce's. This is a testament to the fact that Bruce Lee possessed powers that are out of this world. Although the two legends never had a fight, sources close to Bruce spoke of his fascination with Muhammad Ali. Sources close to the dragon claimed that he would spend hours after his training watching Ali's fight videos and studying his technique. Lee was always ready to learn, and didn't limit himself to only the
Imagine if Bruce Lee became a boxer. Oh my gosh.
traditional techniques of Kung Fu, adopting skills from the legendary boxer, especially his widely acclaimed footwork, which he used to confuse his opponent. He even instructed his students to study Ali, paying close attention to his impressive body movements in order to improve their martial arts skills. This is one of the things that made Bruce Lee different from many other martial artists of his time. He was willing to learn from different sources, refusing to stick with the traditional way of doing things, which got him disliked by
Oh.
many, but subsequently made him and those who followed him better than everyone else.
Yes.
Fans of both Ali and Bruce Lee fantasies about a fight between the two of them. However, this fight never happened. But according to director Robert Claus, while they were working on the set of Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee said to him that he didn't believe he could defeat Muhammad Ali in a fight. Looking down at his fist, he said, "Look at my hand. That's a little Chinese hand. He'd kill me." But in reality,
Oh.
what would a fight between Bruce Lee and the legendary undisputed boxing champion Muhammad Ali look like? Who do you think would have won the fight? Let us know in the comments.
I don't know who would win the fight, honestly. I don't really, believe it or not, I don't really know too much about Muhammad Ali also, but I know Muhammad Ali just as, like, he's just generationally loved like Bruce Lee. So if you guys want me to react to Muhammad Ali, let me know down below.
Number 4. Chuck Norris couldn't beat him.
Who's that?
One of the most iconic of all Bruce Lee's fight scenes was in the movie, The
Oh.
Way of the Dragon, written and directed by Lee himself. This incredible 10 minutes long fight took place between Bruce Lee and the legendary Chuck Norris, one of the most fearsome action stars in history, who has a reputation for being undefeated. The epic battle took place at the Colosseum in Rome, even though it was and still is illegal to film in the Colosseum. But Lee chose this location on
Wait, how did he get to do that if it was illegal?
purpose, after abandoning plans to shoot the movie in the United States, moving the location to Rome to be able to capture the exact vision he had in mind for the movie. His vision was to fight a Western villain in the Colosseum, and as we all can see, it was the perfect location, as this was truly a clash between two gladiators. As expected, it turned out to be one of the most beautifully choreographed fight scenes in the history of Kung Fu movies, totally
Were they actually fighting for real, or was it like a movie, like acting?
raising the bar at the time and setting a new standard. The fight scene had such a natural feel to it and looked so
Oh,
convincing that you would think it
okay.
was a real fight. However,
Okay.
the legendary Chuck Norris never really squared off with the dragon in real-life combat. Though Chuck was reported to have admitted in an interview that even if a fight had happened between them, he couldn't have defeated Bruce Lee. When asked who would win in a fight to the death between him and Bruce Lee, he said, "Bruce, of course, no one can beat him." Keep in mind that Chuck Norris himself is a martial art master, who is known to be the only Westerner to attain the rank of 8th degree black belt grandmaster in the history of Taekwondo. So you best believe he was not just an everyday guy or a mere on-screen action star. Therefore, for him to have admitted that he couldn't have defeated Bruce Lee in a fight if it happened, it proved that Bruce was indeed superhuman. Number 3, he could throw 6 kicks in a second. The further we
Huh?
go on this list, the
Is that even possible?
crazier things get. So at this point, you should already know we are not talking about a normal human being, because how is this even humanly possible? But of course,
Yeah.
Bruce Lee was a superhuman who had trained his body to be able to do anything. He is said to have been able to throw astonishing kicks in 1 second. How can a human being move like that? This was a result of intense training, through which he honed his skills, perfecting it to a level that's considered beyond this earth. According to reports by eyewitnesses, Bruce would often train with heavy weights on his wrist and ankles while practicing his punches and kicks at incredible speed. This enabled him to create lightning-fast movements when the weights are removed. It is important, however, that we realize that even though we regard Bruce Lee as a superhuman, he was human in every sense of the word. Born just like everybody else, no special powers from outer space, just intense training, discipline, and dedication. These were the things that made this legend a force to reckon with in his time, and not some special power given to him by the gods. Bruce Lee stands as a perfect picture of the possibilities that we can achieve with the right amount of training. Martial art was his entire life, and according to his wife, Linda Lee Cadwell, he literally would spend every free time training, spending hours perfecting the craft that made him famous, improving.
I respect that. Like, you're this good at what you do, but you just always want to get better, and people acknowledge you being the best, but you're still hungry to get better. I truly respect that, genuinely.
His skills and learning new things.
I
He was so
truly do.
dedicated to his craft that he did not allow any leisure time to go to waste without improving on himself, training 7 days a week and even practicing wrist curls while he watched television in order to make sure that the time was not wasted. As a pioneer, Bruce Lee was not afraid to learn new things, and he would often challenge the traditional ways of doing things, which got him into trouble several times with other martial arts masters of his time. Today, many martial artists look up to Bruce Lee as an icon, a figure of honor, and a source of motivation, that anything is possible through hard work and consistency.
Facts!
Bruce Lee perfected the use of his body in fighting, and every part was trained to cause heavy damage to his opponent. His punches and his kicks are some of the strongest and fastest ever recorded, and he still remains unmatched till today.
Wow!
To help you understand how incredible Bruce Lee was, you should know that the record for the most kicks in 1 minute is held by Silvana Shamoun, a martial artist and her student who were able to land 178 kicks in 60 seconds. As impressive as this achievement is, it still falls short of Bruce Lee's record, coming in at only 2.9 kicks per second. This is proof that even many decades after his death, it is still incredibly hard to find someone who can stand on the same level as Bruce Lee. Number 2. Superhuman workout routines and diet. Very few people argue about how awesome Bruce Lee was in his lifetime, and how he was way ahead of his time, creating intense workout routines and a strict diet, which wasn't the norm for athletes at the time. According to the book Bruce Lee, A Life, written by biographer Matthew Polly, Bruce was one of the first martial artists to train like a modern athlete. Many training procedures and workout routines that are commonplace among at least nowadays were pretty much new 50 years ago, which solidified Lee's place as a
So he basically was training without weights and all types of stuff, more like using his body, basically. And if that's true, that's kind of crazy, because like he could have been way bigger if he used weights, but probably that wasn't his goal. He might have never been as fast as he is, because if he used the weights.
pioneer in the martial arts world. Back in the days, athletes would only practice their own sport, without including strength and conditioning training in their routine. Bruce did this before it was commonplace, integrating outside gym work into his routine, which helped him unlock a new level of skill most martial artists of his day could only dream of. He also adapted some important training routines from boxing. This included skipping and road running, two important exercises that helped him improve his endurance. Bruce Lee was known to run 4 or 5 miles every morning, lift weights 3 nights in a week, and he was said to have turned his garage into his personal gym, well equipped with a bench press, a squat rack, dumbbells, and many other workout equipment. Bruce Lee is also known to be one of the first athletes to popularize the protein shake, and would
He was taking protein shakes back then? Oh my gosh, he was ahead of his time.
often drink a blend of several high-protein ingredients, including protein powder, eggs, eggshells, bananas, peanut flour, powdered milk, and even chocolate ice cream. One strange part of his diet is a special blend of raw hamburger meat smoothie, which has become a common practice for the modern-day athlete. But Bruce was one of the very first to do it. This
Wow.
strange diet is a great source of much-needed protein, which helps in building skeletal muscles and connective tissues. However, back in those days, this practice was not as common as it is today, and Bruce Lee was more like a pioneer. Even though he worked like a maniac, Bruce made sure he maintained a lightweight, lean, and ripped look in order to help him land leading roles in movies. He had initially followed a routine that made him a little bulky and more muscular than we popularly know him to be early on in his life, but after realizing that pounds of muscle limited his ability to be flexible like water, which was one of his core philosophies, he decided to alter his workout to make him less bulky but as strong as possible.
So he just changed his little physique, but he was still as strong. He just became more like, wow, this guy is smart.
Another reason he maintained this type of physique was his acting career. Acting was a really huge part of his life, which he was very passionate about. So he had to look good in order to be casted in the best roles, especially in an industry that was mostly dominated by ripped white men at the time. Bruce Lee stood out and became a force to reckon with, and today we still see the effects of his dedication. Number 1. He had his sweat glands surgically removed.
What?
Perhaps one of the craziest things this man ever did in his life, and which many now believe led to his death, was the removal of the sweat glands in his armpit. Months before his untimely death, Bruce Lee went through a surgical operation to remove the sweat glands in his armpit because he thought the dank armpits looked bad on camera. Due to the physicality involved in the type of acting he did, it was inevitable that he would sweat while on set. And since there was no natural way to stop himself from sweating, he decided to totally remove the sweat glands, which were responsible for helping his body process and dissipate heat. Although this displayed his incredible dedication to martial arts, it seemed to have not been well thought out, and medical practitioners believe that it may have led to his death. Just like his life, Bruce Lee's death is also filled with controversies, conspiracy theories, and propaganda, some of which stretch as far as speculating the involvement of the mafia, powerful people in the Asian movie industry, or even some close allies in his death. At the time of his death, the cause of death was officially ruled as a swelling in the brain, which was reportedly caused by an allergic reaction to the medication he was taking to alleviate his headache, causing many to doubt if that was indeed the cause of his death, or it was a victim of a well-planned murder. However, in Matthew Polly's biography of Bruce Lee, he challenged the report, blaming Lee's death on heat stroke, which he believed must have been made worse by the fact that he had his sweat glands removed. To corroborate his assertions, Polly mentioned that Bruce was reported to have fainted a couple of weeks before his death while he was recording the dialogue to his breakthrough movie, Enter the Dragon. According to reports, the day was exceptionally hot, and the recording room was small. Added to that, the engineer had turned off the air conditioner so the noise would not ruin the recording. So the condition of the room was so hot, his body couldn't take it.
What?
Before long, Lee fainted and started convulsing before being subsequently rushed to the hospital, where he nearly died from cerebral edema, which was caused by the heat stroke, a rare condition that is known to be responsible for the death of many young athletes in the United States every summer. Polly believes that Bruce's death was most likely caused by the same thing. At just 32 years old, Bruce Lee's death was untimely, as he obviously possessed so much potential that he could have unleashed on our world had he lived longer than he did. However, even though his life was short, it was very impactful, and as such, he will always be remembered in history as one of the greatest human beings to have ever lived.
Chat, we have to discuss this. Bruce Lee. This guy is incredible. I've never seen like someone like this. This is like wow. Like I'm genuinely in shock, chat. Let me know down below what you guys think, and recommend me some more stuff. If you guys like this type of content, recommend me some more stuff to react to. But with that being said, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Yes, sir.